in the case of the Menendez brothers. During an April 11th hearing, Los Angeles County Judge Michael Jessic provided new sentencing information for Eric Menendez and Lyle Menendez, who are currently serving life sentences for the 1989 murders of their parents, Jose Menendez and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, after they say they underwent years of abuse. The judge rejected Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman's motion to withdraw the petition for resentencing, meaning the brothers' case will continue April 17 and 18 to determine their fate. 2 days before the resentencing hearing, Hochman reaffirmed his amendment with his predecessor George Gascon's recommendation in October for resentencing, but clarified that his office was prepared to head to court. Hochman said in his April 9th press release, the district attorney's office is prepared to proceed forward with the hearing on the court's initiation of resentencing proceedings for the Menendez brothers if the court deems it has jurisdiction, but we are requesting that the prior district attorney's motion for resentencing be withdrawn. The district attorney also asserted that the evidence in the case supported the brothers' convictions and sentences, though their brothers continued to, quote, lie about their claims of self-defense. Hochman continued, as a full examination of the record reveals, the Menendez brothers have never come clean over the past 3 decades and admitted that they lied about their self-defense as well as suborned perjury and attempted to suborn perjury by their friends for the lies, among others of their father violently raping Lyle's girlfriend, their mother poisoning the family, and their attempt to get a handgun the day before the murders. During their 1993 trial, Eric and Lyle used a legal defense known as imperfect self-defense and testified that Jose had been sexually abusing them throughout their lives. During their retrial in 1995, prosecutors discovered that Lyle asked a friend and ex-girlfriend to make false claims. The brothers were later convicted and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. While Hochman is adamant about the Menendez brothers' guilt, he explained that a confession of what he sees as their deception throughout the past 3 decades could warrant a reconsideration from his office. He shared, if they were to finally come forward and unequivocally and sincerely admit and completely accept responsibility for their lies of self-defense and the attempted suborning of perjury they engaged in, then the court should weigh such new insight into the analysis of rehabilitation and resentencing, as will the people.
Welcome back to a podcast not like the rest, where we deliver nothing but savaged and uncut content.
Where did I go? Oh my God.
From a Lifestyle studio in Tampa, brings a show so raw and uncut, we mean
no filter on Savaged Unfiltered. Savaged.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome, guys. Today we're talking about the latest coming out of deranged, I'll say it the third time, deranged Rosie O'Donnell, right? We thought we were done hearing about the derangement of Rosie O'Donnell, right? Far left leftist, right? Maniac in her own aspects sometimes. But the reason why I'm saying that, guys, is because, she took a little trip on over to Ireland, right? So we thought that was it for Rosie. We're not going to hear her nonsense, her stupid rhetoric, and this and that, right? But, right, we have to listen to the lip sores, Queen of Hollywood. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah. Thought we were done with her, too.
I thought we were done with her, yeah.
Yeah, she apparently can't resist having to try to pretend she's still relevant and insert herself into things again.
That's right. So the lip sore Queen of Hollywood is back. Now with this connection with the Menendez brothers, obviously having a relationship with Lyle, right? Lyle Menendez. And she felt safe with this gentleman. And it made her feel safe to have a relationship with a straight man. So did Rosie somewhat come out of the closet back then? Or was she always that crazy, Joe?
It's so hard to say. Who knows? It's hard to take anything Rosie says serious. But there are so many on the Menendez bandwagon now. I don't watch the show or the TV show about them or anything, but you can't help but hear snippets of stuff. So I don't know what to think. I firmly believe you commit murder, you go to jail, you stay in jail, right?
Mhm.
But for every rule, there can always be an occasional exception. Are they, not likely to reoffend, as some are arguing? Given the situation, it's possible. Could you let them out on ankle monitors and monthly probation for the next 5 years and everything be okay? Possibly. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a high possibility, but obviously, we're talking about here that Rosie again, and I'll say it, said that the convicted killer made her feel safe enough to have love for a straight man. She said this, Joe.
Yeah. Again, what, why? That's part of the problem here. Leftists and their emotional hysterics, right? Logic, reason, maybe they've done enough time. They could be safe enough to be out. Open up prison space for somebody who needs to be there. But let's talk logic. Let's talk reason. Let's think it through. Your fucking emotion has no place in this. Right?
What does it make you like? How do you feel about that, though?
Well, I think I just told you. Our feelings are irrelevant. Our feelings are why we have so many problems. People unwilling to use their fucking brain, like a Rosie O'Donnell. Just all about her feelings.
Her feelings are supposed to be presented. I had love for a straight man. I come out of the closet once again. Then I take a trip to Ireland where they appreciate me, and there's no Donald Trump there.
Yeah. Yeah, what's that song? Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Fuck your feelings. Use your goddamn brain for a change.
I'm telling you, Joe, like this is the typical snowflake unicorn derangement that we have in the United States.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
again,
crazy.
every rule has an exception. Maybe it would be okay to let them out. I'm willing to entertain a serious discussion with someone who's willing to have a serious discussion. Not a moron like Rosie, who never has a serious discussion about anything.
Well, here's the thing, Joe, right? This was catching some attention from Judge Judy, believe it or not. And Judge Judy, she went on the record to basically say that the entertainment industry should not literally, what's the words? Politicize this, make it into a mockery and this and that. And she used some other words too, because I've noticed Saturday Night Live picking up a piece on this just the other day. And I mean, you have to go to wonder, Joe. Like, is this going to be an ongoing thing? Check out Judge Judy, guys.
Savage unfiltered.
Convicted and sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences.
Now, the Menendez brothers, who claim they killed their parents in 1989 after a lifetime of abuse, may be set free after former Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon sensationally recommended resentencing.
They have been in prison for nearly 35 years. I believe that they have paid their debt to society.
It was all in response to a public outcry that was fueled in part by a Netflix documentary on the case and the wildly popular Ryan Murphy series Monsters, which is a retelling of the true story. We asked Judy if she believed Monsters played a role in the decision.
It certainly was influenced by the Netflix drama series. Do I think that our court system, our system of jurisprudence, should be in any way tied to something that has a certain amount of reality and a certain amount of fantasy involved, that is an entertainment? Absolutely not. I don't think our justice system should have anything to do with entertainment.
Gascon said his office
Michael
had been examining
Gardner,
the case for over
uncut,
a year.
raw, and savaged.
Absolutely. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Joe? Monsters. There's monsters, buddy.
Yeah, again, I've not watched any of that stuff. I'll tell you what, I'll vote for letting them out if they promise to go live with Rosie and her house in Ireland. Let them become her problem.
Well, apparently she is in Ireland. I don't buy it for one damn bit, Joe. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. I believe that she's using this for publicity. She's tried to become relevant once again in the entertainment industry. And she's trying to buy her time until some type of entertainment panel or network picks it up and they can talk about it. Other than that, I don't believe one damn thing that Rosie says, right? And
Yeah.
she's using this because this is a big case. Maybe she can become relevant again from this case. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I don't get the obsession here that some have. Part of the issue is everybody's got an agenda. What's in it for them? I mean, if we were talking about two poor
Savaged with Michael Gardner on
and
Spotify.
that's another argument for, okay, you can let them out. They're not going to be broke and destitute and likely need to turn to a life of crime. So I guess that's a pro, but at the same time, it makes me suspicious of all these other people. They want to hitch their wagon to this bandwagon for their own agendas and potential fleecing of them for money. So I'm just so suspicious of all these people involved.
What do you mean by fleecing? I've never heard that term before, fleecing. What does that mean, fleecing? I'm serious. I'd never heard that term, fleecing, but like it sounds like fleas. Like was she on fleas or something? Or
no,
what?
FLEECING. Skimming, scamming, conning.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Rosie is fleecing, right? She's fleecing for relevancy. There we go.
Right. She she wants to hitch herself to this again just because it's in the news. It gets her fat, ugly face in the news. Yeah.
Oh, God, Joe.
But others again that are advocating for them to come out, I am suspicious. What is in it for them?
I don't know.
I am suspicious of motivations here.
I don't know. I have to say this out to our audience here. Is Rosie mentally ill for this? I believe she is. I think she's gone off the fucking toll train there where she's like, she'll do anything. She's becoming so desperate right now. She hasn't been in a major film, Joe, in probably about, what about 20 years, right? At least 20 years.
I couldn't tell you what her last film
What was the last one? Like, was it the Flintstones? Or she played Betty Rumble?
Probably.
That was like the last major motion picture.
Because she brought that up, weeks ago or something. I remember that. That came up in a clip. And, Rosie O'Donnell of the Flintstones, that's a major credit. It was a shit film.
Yeah.
The star of the Flintstones, whoop-de-fucking-do. That was some great, important film for our times? No.
Yeah. Well, Joe, get this. She was on News Nation not too long ago. and you could see literally the lip sores, like trying to hide them, but she's like not saying a fucking word, man. Not saying a fucking word, right? And she's like in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and they're going through the entire shenanigan of the Menendez case and everything else. And along through that segment, they did mention a slight brief of the relationship with Rosie and Menendez. Do you think they actually had a relationship? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
Do ask me if I care. No, I don't.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised one damn bit, because both of them are like in that bubble of craziness and chaoticness, where if she did have a relationship with Lyle Menendez, right, they would fit perfectly. Maybe that's the guy to get her straight again, Joe. Right? I mean, a little crazy might bring her from the gay train, right? I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those, it's in the news, so we're talking about it, but there are just so many more important things that actually matter to the average person.
Well, you'd be surprised, Joe. You really would. I want to play this clip here with Rosie, with the appearance there of News Nation not too long ago, where Rosie is on the fight for the Menendez brothers. She is, Joe. She's on the fight for Menendez, right? I'm not making this up, guys. Check this clip out.
Savage Unfiltered.
Councilor Guerra goes first. Help us understand what changed and what could still change.
Well, what changed was, I think, when we discovered or were able to get the declaration of Roy Rosella, who was a member of Menudo, and he declared under penalty of perjury that he
Look
too
at
was
her, man.
molested
Look at
by
she's just
Jose in the house, in the family house. You combine that with the letter that Eric had written prior to the killings,
More
8
head
months
nods,
prior,
watch.
to his cousin, who's now dead, Andy Cano. And we combined that together, and we filed back in May of last year what's called a writ of habeas corpus, which is a fancy legal term, Latin term, for basically set aside this conviction, bring me the body under the Latin. Also, since that time that we filed the habeas corpus, the changes in California law have allowed for what's called resentencing. And George Gascon, who's the DA here in Los Angeles, has a robust resentencing unit in which they take a look at sentences that were imposed years ago that were wildly disproportionate to what they might be today. And we are running down both those parallel tracks. We've supplied to them all kinds of information, what we call mitigation information, about them, and we're hoping now, and today was kind of an amazing day from our standpoint, that even 30 days before an election, and mind you, part of the argument that I've been making for a year and a half is that these guys were convicted because of DA electoral politics some 30 years ago. Mind you, the evidence portion of their second trial, where you mentioned they were convicted, started 8 days after the acquittal of O.J. Simpson, and the DA was on his heels at that point, and they needed a conviction.
Also, Mark, remind people, what was the difference between the first and second trial?
Well, first trial, two
I'd
juries.
like to know that too,
Those
Mark.
juries heard the abuse evidence. Both juries, deliberating separately, the majority found not guilty of murder. They were hung juries between murder and manslaughter. Second time around, 8 days after the O.J. acquittal, they was one jury. They largely were prevented
Michael
from
Gardner,
presenting evidence.
uncut, raw, and savaged.
Joe, I love how Rosie's just sitting there, man. She's sitting like nothing's going on, right? Like, I'm learning a lot about these people that I was not aware of.
Yeah. Well, This is like on Truth Social. Revolver News had a clickbait piece. Are the Obamas going to get divorced? My response, I could not care less. They are irrelevant. There are more important things. And that's part of the point here. California, there are so many more important things they need to address, but they won't. So this is the deflection. This is the distraction.
Savaged with Michael Gardner on Spotify.
Otherwise wouldn't give two shits about. But they have to put on the dog and pony show. Look at that. Don't look at this.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain, right? I mean, this is what's going on,
all
right?
the important things that are killing, literally, the illegal immigration issue, people being killed, but instead, let's deflect and talk about these murderers instead.
Well, we should talk about them. I mean, they did kill people, even though people are fighting for it, including Rosie O'Donnell. They believe that they're innocent. How the hell I'm going to keep this picture up there for just a moment. How the hell is somebody innocent for committing, cold-blooded murder? Like how? He really didn't accidentally. He accidentally killed somebody. How do you accidentally kill somebody?
Yeah, no, it was premeditated murder. Now, again, there are complications because of allegations of abuse and all that, but that still is not an excuse. You don't get to just kill somebody. So the question is, have they served enough time? And again, I'm open to a serious discussion that they're not likely to offend. Maybe they could be let out, but that's the discussion that has to be had. But again, I think all of it is mainly a distraction so that the politicians in California and Democrats nationwide can avoid the other serious discussions we need to have.
Yeah. And we talk about them on the show, guys. You've heard it. Yeah, this is the relationship with the infamous convicted killer of Lyle Menendez with Rosie O'Donnell. Apparently, allegedly, guys. We're still trying to find out if it actually happened or if delusional Rosie, once again, folks, is on that train to try to gain relevancy in the media/entertainment world. Guys, I'm Savage. Thanks very much for tuning us in. And check us out, guys, as we will be airing a bonus episode of another delusional media personality of Megyn Kelly, guys, later this week here, where she is going to be bashing the hell out of you-know-who and calling her an ice Barbie. Got a lot to talk about on that.
Well, a much more important, serious discussion we need to have about Kristi Noem, not Megyn Kelly's wanting to interject her face into the news. Shut up, Megyn. Report the news.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.